On today's wrestling news, WWE releases a bunch of superstars.
Saturday night's main event and Survivor Series plans have been revealed.
Moxley and Darby fight at New York Comic Con.
And 10 Belts Mone!
Are you ready? Are you ready for the news times? My name is Phil Chambers. I'm joined by Gareth Morgan to talk all things wrestling news. But first up, it's that time again. WWE have released a bunch of superstars. Now, I'm going to go through the list and then we can talk about some of them. But first up on the list is Wesley. And then we have BJ Ray, Draco Knox, Hayes Jameson, Jamar Hampton, Jin Tala, Lance Anoa'i, Steve Turner, and Summer Sorrell. Now, obviously, a lot of these are like NXT superstars and things, but there's a couple of names in there that kind of stand out. Wesley is one of them. Obviously, he's been kind of a bit of a standout in NXT for a while now. He was with the Rascals in TNA back in the day, and then signed with NXT in 2020, and has been with them ever since. He's been a North American champion. He's been a tag team champion. He actually had the second longest North American championship run ever, which was just like 3 days less than Obafemi's. So he's been a big part of NXT. So he's a little bit of a surprising name to see on this list. But then another one, I mean, Lance Anoa'i is a member of the Bloodline, obviously. And we know how much WWE loves a Bloodline family member at the minute, and an actual Anoa'i. So he is gone as well. Now, there are a couple of other things as well within the WWE ID system, which is their kind of like independent contracted thing where they kind of travel to the independents and they're always kind of on retainer with WWE. I don't quite know what the point of it is or why it works, but there it is. But there's been some over the last couple of days that have just had their just contracts not been renewed. So Zeta Steele asked for her contract to not be renewed. And we've also had Zara Zaka and Kylie Ray, who you may remember from AEW back in the day. She was actually the WWE ID Women's Champion, but had to vacate that belt in September when she announced that she was pregnant. So her contract has just expired and they've not renewed it. So yeah, it's always sad to report on these things, but sort of within these systems, it's probably more to be expected than like WWE main roster cuts and things like that, just because these are that's the point of these systems, is to sort of get in new talent and sort of see what they're like and see whether WWE wants to keep them on long term. But it's just never great to report on it, and some surprising names in there with the likes of Wesley and things that just seem a little bit out of place in this.
Yeah, like you're saying, the ID ones almost feel like trial contracts from just the way it's kind of broken down. So some people just haven't necessarily made the cut right now, or just WWE don't like see the benefit of having them under contract right now. This is not the end of people's wrestling stories if they don't want them to be. There are opportunities out there, so if they do want to find their way back to WWE in the future, there are ways of going about that, obviously. Wesley, yeah, like you're saying, that's a big one. From when I was covering all the ups and downs during that kind of pandemic era, he was a pretty big part of that in that initial Rascals run in NXT, and it just seemed like a guy who, like, this guy was going to be the limit. He was a high flyer, like he seemed charismatic, like he had a good look. It just seemed like, yeah, okay, this is going to make sense. I can see him on the main roster down the road. But for whatever reason, it's just not worked out, and it'll be interesting to see where he lands next. That's a guy who definitely has all the tools to make an impact somewhere else, whether it is at TNA, Impact, all that kind of stuff, or in AEW, or maybe Japan. That'd be great. I'd love to see him somewhere maybe like New Japan, like just to not go the typical routes that a lot of these WWE releases are going right now, and just trying to like spread the wings and just develop both as a character and a wrestler.
Absolutely. These NXT releases have 30-day no-competes as well, so they'll be up for grabs in 30 days rather than the main roster 90 days, so that's a little bit easier, quicker route to coming back to something for some of them, but yeah.
All the best to them. All the best to all of them.
Exactly.
I hope they all land on the feet and smash it either in the wrestling world or if they go down a different route going forward. So we're going to shift gears a little bit right now and talk about the latest Wrestling Observer newsletter that has a lot of scoops when it comes to some upcoming WWE shows. Dave went nuts here. There is a lot of stuff to talk about. So first thing we'll focus on is Saturday night's main event, the upcoming one, which is the 1st of November in Salt Lake City. And currently, he says that 3 matches are scheduled. The first one being Seth Rollins versus CM Punk as the headliner for the world title. So that's a thing that's apparently going to happen before Survivor Series. Other matches there as well are Tiffany Stratton versus Jade Cargill for the women's title. So that's another interesting one. And Dave has kind of theorized that he thinks, based on like all the recent booking, that Jade Cargill has to win here. Like, why make the match otherwise? You never know. Yeah. That's one. That's another huge match for a Saturday Night's main event. And then on top of that, you've also got Drew McIntyre versus Jacob Fatu. That's listed as a match there where the winner would get a shot at Cody Rhodes for the world title. And I believe on SmackDown last night they did book a match for next week. Is it in San Jose? I believe, maybe. My brain might just be doing me dirty there. But maybe that match doesn't get a clean finish or whatever it is, and they nudge that on Saturday Night's main event. I don't know. We'll see. They might have just changed plans. They do tend to do this sometimes. If they hear a scoop come out, they might just change things to spite Dave. You never know. So that's Saturday Night's main event. That's a big chunk of interesting matches there. But then it gets even more interesting because then we've got Survivor Series at Petco Park in San Diego. And that is currently listed as having Cody Rhodes defending his title against the Saturday Night's main event winner of that match between Jacob Fatu and Drew McIntyre. Right now, it says that the leaning is listed as McIntyre. So it seems that it looks like McIntyre might get the win in that match for now. Things can change. We never know. Injuries and just as people changing creative. Another big match at Survivor Series is apparently going to be Dominic Mysterio defending his IC title against John Cena. So that's, a huge one there. Another big match. And then we'll get into the actual War Games matches that are going to be going down at Survivor Series. So buckle up. This is tasty. So we've apparently got in the men's match CM Punk and Roman Reigns and Jacob Fatu and Jey Uso, along with a fifth man that could either be Jimmy Uso or LA Knight. Yeah. So there's that. That's like your babyface team. And then the heel team is apparently going to be Seth Rollins, Bron Breakker, Bronson Reed, Brock Lesnar, and Austin Theory. Yeah, you heard that right. Austin Theory. So another thing that Dave mentions here, he says,
one of these things is not like the other.
They're definitely not. Before I get to that bit, he says there's two notable items is that with Lesnar's win, he does a Dave here. It's a bit of word vomit. Even with Lesnar win over Cena and the teases in the recent Rhodes promo, it is now Rhodes versus Lesnar scheduled right now. I don't know if he's saying that the plans right now seem to be Rhodes versus Lesnar at some point in the future, or his brain's just thrown up on the newsletter there. Not sure. That maybe take that one with a pinch of salt. He says here that the biggest surprise name is Theory, obviously, who's been out with an injury. They've spent a lot of time kind of building up that I can't think what it's called now. The team with him and Grayson Waller. It's just completely left my brain.
A-Town Down Under.
A-Town Down Under. They were obviously building that for a long time. That was like a kind of bit of a comedy mid-card act. And now it looks like he's going to be coming back as like part of like a main event heel stable as a part of perhaps the Vision. He could be coming in. Maybe even pops up at Crown Jewel. You never know. Like that's today. Maybe he helps Seth Rollins beat Cody Rhodes and joins the team there. You don't know. Maybe he joins up and helps Bronson Reed. It could be that kind of thing, just to kind of fold into being a part of the Vision going forward. So yeah, it's that's one that's kind of caught a lot of people off guard in terms of somebody being added into the mix there. And then when it comes to the women's War Games match, we've got apparently AJ Lee and Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss and Io Sky, what a team that is, versus Becky Lynch and Asuka and Kairi Sane and Nia Jax and Lash Legend. Another surprising name, you could say, just based on the fact that she is currently in NXT doing stuff there. So that's another stacked match, War Games match in there with a few surprise additions. A lot of things to unpack there. Dave has just gone scoop crazy on those upcoming cards, and I'm a little bit excited for both of them, to be honest. I'm well up for this.
Yeah, absolutely. You could kind of sense that was kind of where they were going, but then with just some complete wild cards thrown into the mix. Lash Legend's obviously had a couple of flirtations with the main roster and done a few bits and pieces, and always looked really good when she's been up there. And in a match like that, she could definitely shine in something like that. So that'd be really, really good to see. And then we all know what Io Sky and the likes are like in a bloody War Games match. So that'll be really, really good fun. And then the men's one, I don't know how to react to the Austin Theory one. It's just an odd thing from his position. It's a big jump up from being out for a little bit, but maybe he'd be quite good in a heel stable like that. I could see him.
Haven't they tried
he always
that?
feels like it'd just be a bit too much of a comedy element into that stable, but I don't know.
I'm sure, but wasn't it when Heyman was in charge of Raw, he tried putting him in with Seth as the stable when he was the Monday Night Messiah? Wasn't he a part of that, or am I just dreaming that? I feel like I may have just dreamt that, but I feel like this has been attempted before, and it seems like Heyman's a big fan, maybe, of Theory, and sees potential in him, maybe. I don't know.
Let us know.
Dreaming that up.
Let us know down in the comments what you think of these matches. Are you excited? Are you not? Let us know down in the comments. Moving over to New York Comic Con, AEW had a panel there, and Jon Moxley was on it. And then in walks Darby Allin, just shouts at him, saying, like, you really think I'm going to quit? And then he, like, hurled a glass of water at his face, and then they started brawling over the table. And, like, down into the sort of background of the Comic Con thing. Basically, Darby Allin just kicked the crap out of Jon Moxley live at New York Comic Con. Obviously, AEW building to the big Wrestle Dream match, the I Quit match between Jon Moxley and Darby Allin. And this is kind of fun. The AEW like to interject a bit of a sort of chaotic element into the mix when it comes to things like this. And Darby Allin and Jon Moxley are the perfect people to do this kind of a thing with.
Yeah, definitely are. I'm kind of surprised that they didn't throw Darby didn't throw a firework at him or something. Like I would have expected that, but yeah, good. I like this, like when it bleeds into real world and all that kind of stuff, and you get those viral moments. I think it does add a bit of flavour, and it's a good use of social media and word of mouth to get yourself out there a little bit more.
And so yeah, match is going to be nuts.
Yeah, chaos. I don't know how you follow that. Like for me, does that go main event? Because how do you? It's going to be insane.
Yeah.
I don't get how anyone's going to follow that on that night. So that'll be interesting. Where do you think it's going to place on the card, my friends? Let us know in the comments. Do you think it's going to go main event, or do you think they'll maybe open with it? Open with a bang, literally.
Open with a bang, and then the rest of the card is completely screwed.
Yeah, that'd be fun. That'd be Wrestle Nightmare more like. That'd be interesting. So another thing that's somewhat viral, I guess, that's happened like over the last 24 hours. Mercedes Mone has won another belt. Another one. I know, another one. So 10 Belts Mone is now a thing. She appeared at Friday's Body Slam event in, I think it's Denmark, but the write-up I found here is put Denmark. Could be a place, not sure. I'm scared of offending someone, so I'm just going to go and assume it's Denmark.
And hope for the best.
Could be Denmark, not sure. So she defeated Alice Inc., I'm just doing brilliantly with this story.
Doing really well at this.
I'm so good at my job. So yeah, she won the Body Slam Women's Championship, so that is her 10th title now. And that means, with that win, she's now tied officially with Ultimo Dragon for holding the most championships simultaneously. That's frightening. I will go through all of them just in case you've forgot a few. We've got the TBS title with AEW, the Rev Pro Undisputed British Women's Championship, which includes the Queen of Southside title belt. Owen Hart's, the Owen Hart Foundation Women's Tournament winning belt thing. The CMLL Women's Championship, the EWA Women's Championship, the Primetime Wrestling Women's Championship, Bestia Women's Championship, the Discovery Wrestling Scottish Women's Championship, and now the Body Slam Women's Championship. So that means that she now holds titles in the US, England, Denmark, Austria, Italy, and Poland. That is belts everywhere. Mercedes Mone is truly a global champion.
Yep. If only WCPW was still a thing, we would 100% have her as a champion.
11 belts, Mone.
No, this is really good fun. I feel like AEW need to maximize this and get the 11th one on their TV to kind of break that record and make a big deal out of it. Potentially the women's tag team titles.
Maybe, or an ROH.
Puppet Mone could be
ROH
double
titles.
That'd be good.
There as well, though. There's plenty. They've got plenty of belts to choose from.
Plenty. Let us know down in the comments below. What do you think? Should she break the record, number one? And if she does, what belt should it be? I don't know. It's just good fun. Belt collector gimmicks are always fun. Why not? This is exactly what she wanted when she left WWE, was just to travel the world, wrestling in as many goddamn places as she possibly could. And she's doing it. What's not to like about that?
I love it. It's getting eyes on all these different independent promotions as well out there, which is all good stuff. So yeah, big fan of Mone taking over the world.
Love it. But that is it. Thank you very much for joining us. Enjoy Crown Jewel, which is happening very soon.
Yeah, really
very soon. Ups and downs for SmackDown and ups and downs for Crown Jewel will be up on the channel, so look out for those. Follow us over on the old social medias. You can follow me on anywhere, but Instagram mainly, because that's the one I use, at Phil My Chambers. And you can follow Gareth
on my many different handles, gmorgan04 on X, Twitter, whatever the hell that is, on Instagram at Gareth Morgram, and then within my Instagram I've got my personal training fitness page, which is at fitness.focus.gm. It escaped my brain there for a second, but give it a follow. Support me, please, as we get healthier and fitter together.
There you go, and have yourselves a bloody good day.